Welcome back, Mosh Pit Podcast. We are here in LA. Can you believe it? I know. It's crazy. I know I'm sounding cheesy as hell, like a talk show. But we're here with Lexi Layne.
Hey guys, what's up?
And I am excited. I've talked to you for a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute we've been following each other for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I had our other friends that you saw a few weeks ago, Stan Electric, hit me up, I was like, now's the time.
Yeah. No, it worked out perfectly. Happy it worked out.
Yep. Getting started, I want to say thank you. It has officially been 2 years of Mosh Pit Podcast. So thank you to anybody that's been supporting me and helped me, all the venues, artists, all the festivals, just everybody, all the fans that watch. But digging into it, what got you into, tell me the story of how you started music.
Yeah. So I started with musical theater at the age of 6. And I just did a bunch of musical plays. I took dance, tap, jazz, and ballet. I did vocal lessons, and I just realized that being on the stage was my happy place.
Yeah.
That was where I was comfortable, and that's where I felt that I was able to shine the best. So I did that till about 18. And I competed. I traveled a little bit with it. I was a thespian. And then I think I hit around age 13, and I was like, I want to write my own music. And I just started writing in very poetry form. And I started working with just a producer in Florida at the time, and just kind of started playing around. And yeah, that's how I started.
That's awesome. And I feel that too, because when I was in second grade, I got a form to do a talent show.
Oh, cool.
And then I was I just signed up with not even knowing what I was going to do.
Oh my God, I love that.
And then I go back to my house, my family goes, you don't even have a talent. What are you going to do? And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to dance.
Okay.
By the way, if you're curious, you can cuss. I don't give a shit what you say.
Okay, amazing.
This ain't those monetized shit.
Yeah, I can't deal with that shit, honestly. I'm like, don't put a blanket over me. Let me be myself.
Oh, yeah. There's sometimes I've been on people's podcasts and I'm just I start cussing. They're like, hey.
Yeah. I actually usually ask that before going on a podcast. I'm like, do you care if I curse? And sometimes it's yeah, please don't. Sometimes it's we don't give a fuck. So it's great. Fuck it.
But I ended up doing dance, and I was like, how you gonna learn how to dance? And I watched YouTube videos how to break dance, and I would just be on the house computer just mimicking the guy.
Oh my God. I love that.
And I ended up, what was the first? I was second grade, and I break dance to Who Let the Dogs Out.
Oh my God. Classic song from our generation.
Yes.
Amazing. I
even put on a whole dog outfit and stuff.
I would kill to see that video if your parents have it anywhere, honestly.
I don't know if I have the video. I know I have a picture.
I need to see the picture.
I'll have to send you
I think they want to see the picture.
Okay. I'll put the picture right here.
Yeah.
Don't hate me. It looks weird. I know I was in second grade, but then I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being on the stage and just getting the reactions from people. That's what fed me. There's
definitely an exhilaration and a lightning surge that I feel when I'm on stage that, I don't know, even up till today too, every time I get on stage, it just always feels like the first time, because it's a new audience, and it's I'm here to show these people or, current fans that I do have what I can do. And it's a really great feeling. It really is. I never get sick of it, ever.
I know. It's because when I did that year, I'd start doing it every year.
Yeah.
And then I went from break dancing, because the second year I did Soulja Boy. Oh my God. I know. A white kid dancing to Soulja Boy is wild.
We would have been friends. Yeah. We totally would have been friends. Yeah.
Because there was the small group of kids that every year did the talent show.
Oh my God.
And then I went from that to doing... It's when robot dancing became a thing, and I danced to Centipede.
Oh my God.
And that was my niche. That became my niche. And I actually won the talent show and got money for it, and I was very confused. I was
Look at you go.
And then, like, I know some people are listening right now going, you danced. And I was like, yes.
I would have never looked at you and been like, you did that.
Yeah.
But knowing that you did makes me like you so much more, honestly.
Right. I used to, like, because I didn't want I did the first year I started doing robot dancing, I used to practice in the backyard because I didn't want my family to see it. I wanted the first time for them to see it to be at the talent show. My whole family was worried and scared. And then they were like, you're actually good. And I was like, I used to do like all the head movements. And
Can you still get down like that today?
Kind of. I haven't done it in so long, but I can still like dance. Like I used to like practice like tango and slow dance and
Oh my
square
God,
dance,
amazing.
I always like to fool around with stuff. When it came to like art, like being on stage, like that was just I loved getting like, what can I do to get the reaction I want?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was either funny or it was like, it was just always like something different. And like in middle school, I went to a fireworks show and they were playing dubstep. So I went up there because my family came. They didn't believe I could dance. So I went up in front of tons of people and just started dancing. Some kid thought I was homeless and came up and gave me $1.
Oh my God.
I was like,
You're doing something right. Hey,
Yeah.
you know, if like you need another career,
I know.
you just go back to your roots, dude, and you're solid.
Who wants to see me dance at a heavy metal show on stage? Just
Please do that. Please. That would be so iconic. It would just go viral.
probably.
Yeah.
It would be like, all right, we have a break dancing, robot dancing segment by Chris Porter.
Oh, it's so great. I love that.
And then like when I got into podcasting, I still craved that stage feeling. Like I love this so much, but it was like nothing compares to being on stage.
Yeah.
So the first time I asked the band, I was like, can I do your introduction? And then they were like, I went off the stage and handed the mic to the lead singer, and he goes, you hyped the shit out of that crowd. And I was like, I did? He goes, yeah. That I've never really seen anybody do an introduction like that before.
Damn. Learning new things about you.
Yeah, I love hopping on stage. And I don't do it all the time, but when I do it, I know what I'm gonna say and I know what I'm gonna do. And like, there's been times where I'll just like go do an introduction and like I'll tell the band like start right after I finish it, and I'll jump off the stage into the crowd and just start opening the pit.
We all need that, though. Like,
Yes.
it's smart to have, like, a hype man, you know?
Yep.
I get it now.
But getting into the next thing, what did you do I mean, you kind of answered it. What did you do, like, before music? Like, what was your, like, main hobby?
I feel like it's always been music. Like, again, started musical theater at 6, competed, did it till I was about, like, 18. And then in that mix, I started writing my own music. So it's really been with me like my whole life. Obviously, yeah, I had like, you know, jobs and things that I would do. Like I bartended for 13 years in South Florida, one of them being a concert venue. So that was really cool to see. I've seen a lot of people, like even before they got big, like Ghost and Flyleaf. Like, so that was a really cool experience. But I just have always felt so connected with music and singing and performing that it's just kind of carried with me until now, and now it's just happening more so. Like this has always been my dream, so living this out now is really surreal for me.
Yeah, and like I remember the first time I listened to you, I think it was Serpent.
Yeah.
And I was just like, your vocals blew me away.
Thank you.
Every time I was like, had friends come in the car, because I always drag friends to shows.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, listen to the vocals. And I'm like, it's pretty soft. And then you got that scream, and they're like,
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Serpent she's a big bitch.
Yeah.
And I wanted to come out really strong with my new music. Obviously, I have an EP out that I came out with in 2020, but this is the newer version of me, all the singles I've been dropping. And we just always felt, my producer, Kevin McCombs, and I, that Serpent would be the best one to drop first, because it's like, boom, I'm here.
Yeah. Because, like, because in this industry, I learned, it took me a long time to learn that because you always want somebody to love you and, like, support you, but you kind of have to love yourself first.
Oh, 100%. And that's a lot of what this newer music is, that is coming out, that's been out already.
Yeah.
It's just all about self-love and me finding myself, and that I have found myself and the woman I've always wanted to become. That's a lot of what like the High Priestess is. It's very, I found where I belong and I feel seen and loved just by myself,
Yeah.
you know? So, and then it's good. You put that out into the universe, you put that energy out, you know, to your fans and people that are listening to it, and then they resonate with it as well. And that's like all I want to do. I just want people to resonate with the music. And if you're having a bad day, you put on the High Priestess and you're like, I'm a fucking queen now. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, or you just feel like royalty. You feel seen and heard and loved. And that's just what's important to me.
Yes. And like, cause like I never, when I needed that push in order to love myself, because it was Katie Babs from SiriusXM.
Yeah.
She was, when I met her, it was legit a month before I started the podcast. I wasn't even thinking about doing it. I was going to be in the music industry. I just didn't know what my niche would be. And I talked to her and she goes, you go to every show, and the way I see you talk to bands is not like a fan.
Yeah.
You talk to them because you try to dissect them. And that's what a podcaster is. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know how to do all this stuff. And she was like, just get a camera and do it. And I was like, oh, that's super simple.
Just get a camera and do it.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. Like my first podcast edit, I was like, I wanted to just be organic, so I didn't write nothing.
Yeah.
And then I legit started the podcast. That podcast has so many
But hey, it's like you have to start somewhere, right? Like, I look at old music I've put out and I'm like, oh God, what the fuck was I thinking? You know? And then I'm like, but that got me to where I am now.
Yes.
Like, maybe without that, I wouldn't be where I am now.
I was watching a Theo Von podcast recently, and like he cleared it up perfectly. He was like, you can sit and wait for that candle to get brighter, but it's gonna get shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
Yeah, and I was just like, not to get all philosophical for you guys. You're like, who the fuck is this guy? Is a TED Talk? But it was just like, hearing that, I was like, that's exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, you want to start and you want to be perfect right at the start. That's impossible.
It doesn't work like that. And that's something I've learned over the years. Like, I just wanted everything to be like, oh yeah, this is it. It has to be like this. But the older I get and the more, like, the deeper I get into the industry, I'm realizing, like, it's just not like that. Like, this is my story. This is the journey. So, like, I need to be grateful for the journey.
Yeah.
And when I hit those goals and points, like, you know, I'll celebrate, but I have to remember the journey is what got me to that goal and that point.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was a low moment or a high moment, it's just gotten me here today.
I just remember when I had my bands, I had a band come to my house. Like, that's how I started.
Oh, wow.
And we would film in the office. And then the second band I interviewed, they go, hey, we're opening for Head PE. You want to come out? And I was like, sure. And I do my little thing. I'm like, I'm Chris from Mosh Pit Podcast. Next time you're down, I'd love to come to like a studio and like we can do a podcast. And Trauma from Head PE goes, fuck it, why don't we do it right now? So I go in the green room, I write questions real quick. We did like a 5-minute podcast.
Sweet.
Put a camera on the hood of a truck.
Love it.
And that video got like 600 views in 2 hours. And I was just like, and then it was like, it grew into something. And I was like, I kind of like that pre-show interview kind of thing. And I was like, we tried it again, got a couple other bands. And then I like did it again, enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, now do it again.
Yeah.
Now do it again, do it again. And then it turned into this whole thing of just like where I am now.
Yeah. And that's just the beauty of life, right? Like,
Yeah.
we plan all these things. Like, I'm a really big planner, and I've learned as I get older, like, I just cannot plan everything. It doesn't, like, there's no joy in that.
Yep.
You know, like, you just gotta grab the ticket and just enjoy the ride is literally what it is.
Yep.
You know?
Like, I remember when, and like, it's crazy when I run into, like, meet artists that actually, like, know of me. Mm-hmm. Like, this year when I met Hannibal.
Yeah, okay.
I knocked on their dressing room door, and their manager from Sony opens it, and he goes, "You're that guy from Aftershock Mosh Pit, right?" And
See?
I was like, "You know me?"
It's like, too, it's just like showing face and getting out there and like people just being like, oh my God, you're that guy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's it's just being out with those people and like,
Yeah.
you know, being in the circle. It's just really important.
Yeah, because I've had a buddy, I love his like material and stuff, but he always goes, I'm trying to get more like people to watch my stuff. And he does like streaming podcasts. And I was like, you gotta go out.
Yeah, you know, sitting at home is nice sometimes, but like for this industry, and again, there's a lot of things you can do on the internet. Obviously,
Yes.
everything is social media and content. So technically, like there are people that live in their bedroom and they just are this big influencer,
Yeah.
you know, through the internet. But the in-person stuff I think is so important. You got to have like a 50-50, you know.
Yeah, it's hard because I even have bands that hit me up and go, let's do virtual. And I remember when I decided I can't do virtual because I wanted to be there's a lot of virtual and I love virtual and I'm not hating on it at all. If that's your niche, that's your niche. But my niche is in person.
I agree. I'm the same way. I rather do like a talk like this, like we're in person having a genuine conversation, getting to know each other, and the virtual, it just doesn't feel as like connected.
Yeah.
You know, like if you have to, obviously that's fine. Like I've done a lot of virtual podcasts and they're still great, but this is like a vibe.
Yes.
You know?
Sitting here comfortable and like it's just us bullshitting and getting to know each other and it's not like over a screen.
Yeah. It's just more organic.
Yeah, not like I just got out of bed. Let me just turn on my computer
like
real
let me
quick.
put a cute top on, but keep my like, you know, pajama pants on. Let me like throw makeup on, but put a filter on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is just, it's way better like this.
But still, no shit to the people that do it. That's your niche. That's your niche.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I still love the people that do that. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But other than like your production on your music and everything, I love your production on your music videos.
Thank you.
It is amazing, and I would love to hear like what goes through your thought process of like with like the priestess or the
like the making of the High Priestess, the music video.
Yeah.
So usually like how I kind of go about a music video, obviously there's like a theme with the song first. Me and my producer will write the song. But even when we're writing the song, I'm already seeing visuals of what I want to do. And for the High Priestess, I knew it had to be regal, but I didn't want it to be like overly done or like corny or look like cheap.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of the importance in that music video was lighting.
Yes.
So we shot at the Glass Slipper in downtown, just like a very regal area, very big ballroom, very Renaissance kind of feel, that was my goal with that. And then we actually used one of my best friend's fiance's tub to do the bathtub scene. And we just filled that bathtub with like water and powdered milk just to make it like that old school like milk bath kind of look.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just all came together really well. But yeah, everything is like written out. I have an amazing team that I work with. Everyone is very supportive. Everyone sees my vision. And then, you know, ideas that my friends have as well, like we bring them to life too. Anything that is going to benefit the project, you know, in that time and period, like we will do.
Yeah.
And it was a 2-day shoot, but I was very happy the way that it came out. I had got a headpiece that I ordered online, and then the red velvet on me is literally just like cloth from Michael's. Like, but again, we made it look like really regal and more upscale. And I think the main thing for me is I've heard a little bit of controversy with how I'm only draped on the bottom and I'm kind of topless with my hair just covering me. The main thing with that for me was showing the beauty of being in the feminine, being in the divine feminine. It wasn't like a act of being really sexual or wanting to be over-sexualized. It's just, this is the beauty of a female in its entirety. And that was the main focus with the High Priestess for that video.
And it gave me like an old school like sculpture.
Yeah.
When you see like Greek sculptures, it's how it is.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to go for that Renaissance, Roman, goddess, Greek, just sitting in your divine feminine energy.
Yeah.
That's really just what I wanted to bring with that music video.
Yeah, I love all your setup. Your promos are just great. Everything about it is awesome.
Thank you.
Because I know how much it is to like put out material.
It's a lot. Every time I release a song and a music video, like I call them my children. Like these are my babies.
Yeah.
Like I don't want kids. These are my children.
Yes.
Like the little projects that I drop. Like so it is. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, a lot of energy, but I love it. And releasing that into the world, it makes me just keep going. I just want to keep going and put out more music and more visuals and just do cool, weird shit, you know?
Yes. Because I'm like that too. Like every band I do a podcast with, like every podcast I put out is like my own. It's like a storyline for me.
Yeah, but it has to be. And that's the thing is like your fans or your, listeners, they are following your story.
Yes.
And it has to be done like in my eyes perfectly because you're telling your story. So you got to get it get it across to them the way that you envision it.
Because I know some people, they like when they do interviews or podcasts, they just like they want to give the person that they have on everything, and then they just go, okay, next, and then
yeah,
and
I've had that.
I give my experience as well.
Yeah, but I think that's important because again, that's like we're relating.
Yes.
We're being humans.
Yes.
We're having a genuine conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, okay, next question, answer this one. Like, I mean, that's fine too.
Yeah.
If you're more of like sitting and just asking questions. But I like this a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, because a lot of people go, well, it's kind of like an interview. And I'm like, well, I ask questions, but I like to turn it into a conversation.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool style.
Other than music, I love asking these bands, what are your hobbies? What are you doing when you're not focusing on it?
When I am not in the studio or, doing anything music related, I'm a big gym rat. I'm a big health freak. I love to cook, love to work out. I like the beach, love amusement parks. Like I like to go do like fun exploring, kind of things. Love to travel. But then like I'm a sucker for like, ordering food and watching a good movie at home by myself. Like, like going out's fun, but I think I'm more of like a homebody, especially like, again, this industry is so crazy. It is 24/7. You never stop. So if I have a moment to make myself a steak and watch a movie, that is what I'm doing.
Yeah. Like my buddy from Red Star, he's like the same way. He's a big introvert.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in some artists. They're big introverts. They love doing this, but they cherish that time when they're just snuggled up watching some like any show ever, just laying down eating some food. And I'm like that too.
It's just needed. And like again, it's just giving yourself that break from like the world, the social media, like I love to meditate. I love to read. I just like to sit. I just need to sit with myself. Like I always try to just sit with myself for at least an hour one time a week and just recenter myself. Cause like the world's crazy. And like when you're dealing with a lot of people, it's a lot of energy. And I'm a very, very empathetic person.
Yeah.
So like kind of calling my energy back to myself and, just recalibrating to be the best Lexi Layne I can be, that's just needed at least once a week.
Because there's shows I do and stuff like that, and like I get ready to like give that energy to that band and to the crowd, and I like legit tell myself in my mind like, you're 11 years old, this is your first show again.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That like pumps you up again.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna start taking that. That's great.
Yeah.
Like,
because like my first show was Aftershock, and I was 11. It was 2013, and I remember when I got there. That's like I fell in love instantly because I saw some bands, but then my favorite band's Korn.
just saw them like 2 weeks ago with Evanescence and Spirit Box.
Jelly. I'm so jealous.
They were so fucking good. Anyway, continue.
I just remember sitting on the side of the barrier and the flag fell, and the first thing I see is the mic stand.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and then, but I also like, because I do this thing at shows where I like, middle of the set, I'll turn around and just look at the crowd.
I do that too.
Because I'm just like, look at everybody having this, we're sharing this moment together.
It's so true. It's so true. I don't think enough people do what you just said.
Yeah.
I do it. I'm one of those people that do it as well. Maybe it's like a artist's kind of standpoint.
Maybe.
I don't know. But it is true. Like, you're singing for hundreds of people, you know, in the crowd, and you're sitting next to a stranger, but you're literally sharing that moment together.
Exactly.
Like, all these people are here because they want to be here.
Yep.
You know, like, it really is a beautiful moment. Like, as corny as it may sound, like, it is.
Yeah.
You know?
It's this moment where you just, because like you know that everybody's gonna leave at the same time or at the end of the night, and then they're gonna go home, go to sleep, wake up, and talk about that moment.
Yeah, 100%.
And like and then everybody goes through all the pictures, all the videos, and just that's why I just love concerts.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the reason I like, because before all this, I was going to concerts all the time, but like I have friends that have try to get me into like going to like sideshows, and I'm from Bay Area, so it's like kind of a thing out there, like sideshows and like clubbing and all that stuff, which I love it. It's just when I'm at a show and it's like an artist playing, that's just my thing. Like, people know every time I come to LA, right when I get here, I go straight to the whiskey.
It's smart though. It keeps you in the loop too. Like, I think it's really important as an artist to go support other artists, whether it's local or, you know, bigger artists that have already made it. It's also just really inspiration. Like, for me personally, like going to see an artist that, you know, I really like, or maybe an artist that I don't know. Like, it's just cool to be inspired by someone new.
Yes.
I think it's also just important to keep myself motivated as well. You know, like, if I'm having a bad day and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go anywhere, I have this concert tonight, I'm not in the mood, but then I get there and I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up, Lexi, from 3 hours ago. Like, I'm having the time of my life right now.
Yes.
And I'm inspired again, and that's important.
Like, I hate going to shows with people that just sit there the whole time and just go, I gotta do this tomorrow, I gotta do this. I'm like,
be in the moment, dude.
You're here right now. And that's all that matters. Like, a guy I met last night, he did photography for a band I know. And legit, after the show, he's like, because he was telling me, he was like, this is the first gig I ever got paid for to do.
Oh.
And then he started crying at the end of the show, and he goes, I'm just proud of them, proud of me.
See, and like, that is one of those moments where it's like, he's inspired, and that's what it's about. Yeah. You know?
Because I hugged him, and I was like, I have been where you're at right now, where you're just looking around going, this is bringing me this different joy that you've never really ever felt.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you're here, but you're also with them. You know what it took them to get here.
Yeah.
And you are also capturing that moment.
It's just really special. Again, like, I really think this industry is such a beautiful industry. Obviously, there's fucked up parts to every industry, but being an artist and being able to do what you love and people responding positively back to that, it's a win-win. Oh yeah. You know?
I mean, there's always haters too.
Which, you know what? Bring those on too. I don't give a shit.
My thing that I go to is I act like I'm their like boyfriend or girlfriend. I just straight, because they'll be like, one guy, last person I ever comment, they were like, I learned nothing from this, and I just responded with, love you too, boo.
But see, like, that's what I would do. Like, because again, that almost starts a feud. Like, if somebody was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I learned something from this. And like, I think there's this saying that's like, there's no bad publicity, or like bad publicity is good publicity, or something like that. Like, it's all a win-win in the end. Yes. You know?
Because when you are a creator, an artist, anything you put out there, you got to realize that even if nobody loves it, you love it. And
that's all that matters. That's all that matters. And anytime I put out a song, obviously that's always my brain. Like, my mindset is like, all right, well, fuck, I hope people resonate with this. Or like, but then I'm like, you know what? I resonate with it. somebody is going to resonate with this song. Even if it's just one person, that one person is somebody.
Yes.
And that means I hit somebody, and that means I did something right by releasing this song.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I never even considered myself an artist until I was at the show. I was like, I was nothing at the time. I was just going to a Ice Cube show in Santa Maria, and I was backstage hanging out with Digital Underground, and they introduced me to JJ Fad and all these other people, Exhibit and everybody, and their chef comes out, and we're talking this big group, Digital, everybody, and he goes, we're here, and we're artists, and we're doing what we love, and I was like, well, I'm just a podcaster, and he was like, did you create that? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you're an artist.
Oh, you're definitely an artist, 100%.
And I was like, damn, I guess I am.
You are.
I just like, and then people always go, you're a good podcaster. And I used to always say, I'm not a podcaster. I'm just a fan that loves to bullshit and dissect artists.
That works too. You
Yeah,
know?
I'm a dissector, and I just like have fun and enjoy my life and just document it just for not only my fans but like my future of like my family.
Yeah.
Like where they can look back way, way in the future and just go, he didn't give a shit about nothing and he did what he loved. Maybe I can too.
I think that's a really smart thing you just said too. Is like, just do it. Just go for it. Like, don't think about it. If you love it and it resonates with you, just go for it. It may take forever, but like, at least you started, and at least you can say you did it.
Yes.
Like, if it was easy, I always say everyone would do it.
Exactly.
There's a reason why not everybody does it.
Because no one wants to go for that first hump, and that first hump's always a fucking artist.
Yep. It's like climbing up the mountain, you know, the second you start, like it's not easy, or you're doing like a really hard hike or something, you know, but over time you get accustomed and it gets easier, you know?
Yeah. And talking about like festivals and stuff, you went to Mayhem Fest.
I did.
I really wanted to go, but it was the Saturday of Aftershock.
I know. That's what everyone's like, I'm going to Aftershock. I'm like, well, I'll be at Mayhem, you know, like.
Because I really wanted to go because there's so many people in the lineup I really want to see, like Hannibal, Holy Wars.
Yeah.
Which I've talked to Kat probably as long as
love
I've talked
Kat.
to you.
Yeah. I went with the Pretty Cult, a brand that I work with a lot, and Holy Wars has collabed with the Pretty Cult. So I went with them, and it was cool. We were backstage, got to watch their sound check. Kat is a sweetheart. I love her. She's a phenomenal performer. Like, she fucking killed it the day of Mayhem, and I'm not just saying that. She went into the crowd, started a mosh pit. Like, she was so fucking good. Like, again, inspiration. Like, I was just inspired watching her 100%.
I think the first time I saw her was at Aftershock. It was the first time I met her and the rest of the guys, and I just remember seeing her just jump out into the crowd. Yeah. And she controlled that crowd just
like a boss ass bitch.
For real.
Yes. Yeah. She's insane. And they were great.
Yes. And like, even like the people at the Pretty Cult, because I was like so sad because I was like, I know they're working Mayhem. That means we're not going to be at Aftershock.
Yeah. They were at Mayhem. I always say we because I'm always with Ariel, the owner. But yeah, they were at Mayhem. So
every time they're there, I always go say hi to Maya.
Love Maya. Yeah, Maya's a sweetheart. She's one of my good friends.
She's a great photographer.
Beautiful photography. She just knows her shit. She's just always on it.
Yes, I love all of them. I love the whole like lineup. Like Suicide Silence played, didn't it?
They were phenomenal.
Yes,
phenomenal. Yeah, they were great. Ginger, I mean, Tati's vocals. Like, I just stared at her and I'm like, oh, where did you come from?
How do you?
Incredible.
Do that? Yeah,
incredible. Poppy was really good. You know, Bad Omens is obviously like, you know, they're taking the cake right now. They're like, Bring Me the Horizon level. Like, just the way they have shot up recently is just mind-blowing. But I've seen them 3 times, and this was my 4th time seeing them, and their production is just like day and night from the last time I saw them. Like, it's massive. Their visuals. It was just a really great lineup, and the vibes were really chill. Like, everyone was like really respectful. There was no like chaos, like bad chaos, good chaos. no bad chaos going on. But yeah, it was a really fun day. It was a very long day too.
Very long day. I feel like it was also organized very well and like set time wise too.
Yeah, it was good. And like, you had the main stage and then you had the two stages and, the back field. And as soon as one band ended, the next band went on the other stage. Like it was very organized. And it was just a good time. It was a really good time.
Yes. If anybody from Mayhem's watching this, please make it like the week after the week before Aftershock next year.
Literally.
I will go. You will see me there. And
yes.
I will send you an application for media. No problem.
Yes.
Yeah, because I just remember seeing that lineup and I was just, because I was ready for it. Like right when Mayhem said we were going to release the lineup, I was like, yes.
The lineup was great.
Yes, it was
like
perfect.
The second it came out, I was like, oh fuck, I gotta go to this. Yep, I mean, I have to go because just everyone on this list is just phenomenal.
And it was just like a lot of like, it wasn't just straight legend bands. It was like people from our era of just like this music scene, and I was just like, yes.
Yeah, it was great. Very fun day. It was just long, but worth it.
Yes.
It was worth it.
And what's your take on not When We Were Young, Warped Tour coming back?
Not bad. I think it's good. That was a long pause. It's just weird because like we all grew up with Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Like that was what we went to. And then I don't know, I'm from South Florida, so we used to have Buzz Bake Sale. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a Warped Tour kind of deal thing too. But I think it's great. I mean, it's all coming back. Like our childhood, it's just here again. And it is really comforting. It's cool. I think now that we have so many festivals, it's not as like heartwarming in a way that Warped's coming back, even though they're like the OG. But it's like, look, we have When We Were Young and Sick New World and Mayhem and After, we have all of them now. So I do hope they do something that makes it feel like more nostalgic. Like I hope there's something they can do to make it feel like it's really Warped Tour.
Yes.
Because I feel like all the bands that were on When We Were Young feels like a Warped Tour in a way.
It does. It very much so does. And like, it's going to be here or there because I've had a lot of like bands hit me up and go, are you going to try to work Warped Tour? And I'm like, I'm waiting.
Yeah, because the lineup's not out yet, right?
No, I mean, they only have like 2 that are pretty much confirmed, which is because they used a background vocal from Fall Out Boy.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then Ronnie Radke posted something about it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so probably Falling in Reverse and Fall Out Boy right now.
Yeah, maybe like the used MCR. I mean, that like Under Oath, all that. Like, yeah.
And that's why I'm like, some people aren't like really hyped. It's very controversial about the Sick New World lineup.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm not entirely hyped because like we just had a Warped Tour is what it felt like with When We Were Young and Sick New World and but like I said, I do hope they can honor something of that nostalgic feeling that Warped Tour really brought like back in our generation to make it really feel like Warped Tour.
Because I feel like a lot of people aren't like, it's adding up to the fact that is like 2025, you got to realize you have Warped Tour, you have Sick New World, you have When We Were Young, you have Aftershock, you have Incarceration.
Rockville. It's all being done. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I am hearing mixed reviews about it as well, and I do feel mixed reviews about it too. That's why I'm like, they got to do something special to make it feel like Warped and not just like another fucking festival because we have all them now. There are, and all those older bands that we grew up on are on these festivals. So like, what's the difference with Warped just because it's Warped Tour? Like,
the only thing I see that they said they're gonna do is they're gonna do a battle of the bands and have like unsigned bands do that.
Okay,
stuff.
Well that's great then.
Yeah,
I think that's great because like no other festival's doing that right now.
Yeah.
Like, so okay, there's one key point.
Yeah.
But I want more. I want more to make it really feel like old school Warped Tour.
Yeah, because like we all went to Warped Tour because we didn't know some of these people.
Yeah.
We just went to have fun because all of our friends from school were going.
Yeah. I remember my first Warped Tour. I was 13. and I passed out in the pit of My Chemical Romance. But God, that was one of the best fucking days of my life. It was like me, my mom, and 3 of my girlfriends. We were in middle school, and like my mom had to come into the pit and like drag me out because I passed out. And then after that, we actually ended up going home because like I just got heat stroke. Again, South Florida, middle of the summer. Like it's not a fun time. It's very different than California. But yeah, like those are some memories I'll never forget. You know,
I have a lot of. I'm in a Mosh Pit podcast. I have a lot of pit injuries.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, I used to have 2 eyebrow piercings. Lost the other one in a system of a down pit.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I've messed up my ankle jumping off a stage.
Oh, jeez.
I have gotten black eyes. I've fucked up my wrist multiple times.
God.
Yeah, I'm used to it. That's why I had to learn when I like did this more and more and more and more. I was like, you don't have to pit at every show you go to because I go to hella.
Yeah, but no, you don't need to. I mean, like it's such a mood, so I get it, and it's like you could go to a show and be like, I'm not gonna go in the pit tonight, but like that one song comes on,
yes,
and you're like, fuck it, I'm going in, and like then you're screwed again, you know? Like,
yep. And then I get out of the pit and I'm like, yep, I regret that.
Yeah. But again, it's like that. It's just a moment.
Yes.
You know, you just go for it, so it's worth it.
Yep. And that's what I love. And that's why I called it Mosh Pit Podcast because I used to go to shows ever since I was 11, and I'd always like be around the same city.
Yeah.
People go, oh, you're that Mosh Pit kid that always goes to the pit, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And that was just my whole standpoint on it. And but do you have like you've done a good amount of performances?
Yeah.
Do you have like a ritual you do before?
Yes, I do. I have like a vocal ritual, and then I have just more of like a spiritual ritual that I kind of do with myself. Vocal wise, I always drink olive oil before I go on stage.
Really?
A lot of people have not heard of this. Ever since I did musical theater, it was something my mom used to give me, and she always says, you just take a swig of olive oil before you go on stage and you're fine. And I understand it now because it actually coats your vocal cords like perfectly, like makes them just like butter. So I'll always do that. I always drink throat coat tea throughout the day. And usually the day before a show, I try to go on like complete vocal rest. Day of show, I will talk a little bit, obviously, to just like kind of like warm up lightly. And then I will do a warm up as well. Spiritually, like before the night before a show, I'll always do like a really deep like meditation and just kind of like center myself and just like really lock in with myself. I think that's so important, again, with all the chaos around us. And it's really important for me to be like locked in with Lexi, as weird as that may sound, you know? And yeah, like probably like 20 minutes before I go on stage, I'll go in the bathroom and kind of just like do my whole like recenter thing again. And then I'm fucking ready. Like, you know, me and my band before we go on stage, we'll just like take a moment, you know, fist pump, and we're like, we fucking got this, let's go, you know, and then, you know, the rest is history. We just vibe out.
I do the same thing, like spiritual wise. Like I'll say like a prayer before I go into any podcast. I get nervous every single podcast. I've done 55 of these.
Jeez, it's a lot of podcasts.
And I just like every single one. I just always just hit my heart. I always go, it's another podcast.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
Yeah.
And don't change how you are.
The do what you do thing is like I tell myself like remember who you are.
Yes.
Remember who you are. Remember how you got here.
Yeah.
And remember that you deserve this. Because for a really long time, I think I struggled with like, do I even deserve this? Like before I reached where I am now, there was a lot of like, maybe it's not happening because I'm not worthy. And that was like a really dark time in my life. And, you know, but that's something that I always remind myself. Like even not just going on stage, just if I'm having a moment throughout the day or I'm just having like a really low-key mental breakdown or something, you know, which is not common. If I'm having a moment, I'm just like, remember who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
and how you got here, and that you deserve this, and you're worthy, and you are in deservance of good things in this life.
Yes.
And it really is such like a mood changer,
I do that too because like, and sometimes when I can't like think of myself to remind myself, I go legit look back at my journal from like stuff I've used to write about.
Yeah, like that too. Or I'll look at like I'll go through like my photo album on my phone and just look at old pictures of like maybe the first show I ever did, or like old pictures of me like when I was younger in theater. Like I am a very nostalgic person. I love nostalgia and I resonate with it a lot because again, it hits. It's like when you're feeling lost in this world now, you look at where you came from and it just helps.
Yes. All right, we're back. We took a little break. Feels great. I want to get back into what I asked this to every single band. What show would you like to relive?
Probably the show that I did at the Whiskey.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a turning point for me. I feel like that's when things started to. You can just feel when you're like excelling or like ascending, like to a higher area of your career. And I feel like that show was very moving for me. I got very emotional. My mom also flew in town from Florida for that show, and that was the first time she ever saw me with my band. So, which was like really special. I'm very close with my mom. She's like my best friend. So, yeah, that was just, it was a really wholesome night. It was a great show. That was also the first time I started doing more of my new music, like Serpent and the High Priestess. So, yeah, definitely the show that I did at the Whiskey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because I feel that too. I've had those times, and it's always the thing that I least expect to happen at the shows I work.
Mm-hmm.
Because that night I was talking about, like with Hannah and everything, I ended up going out back to sit for a second just to catch my breath, and the guy from Sony was back there, and we talked for like an hour.
Amazing.
And he was just telling me stories. He's been in Sony since he was like 1990, and like he works with Sony in Japan and in LA, and like I was like, getting his stories and dissecting him, and like him knowing like the amount of experience he has, and like we're talking about like, oh, what are you doing like in the future and stuff like that. He goes, after this tour, I gotta get back. I gotta fly to the UK, then come back here, then I gotta fly to Japan, and I'm like, that is just.
That's the life, though. Like,
Yes.
fucking goals, man. I want to be like, oh, sorry, I'm going to Japan.
Yes.
I can't. Like, I want to say that so bad.
You know how many times I say that to my family? Even like when I left, my family goes, I don't want to get a call saying you're just going to stay in LA. And I'm like,
dude, I'm surprised you are not out here permanently yet.
I know.
Like,
and I've talked to bands about this, and I'm like, I love visiting. I just don't know if I could stay here. I just love coming here.
yeah. I mean, I always call LA the bubble, you know, like, and you do need breaks from the bubble because, again, it's a lot, but living here, it's just so great. The opportunity, it's the land of opportunity, you know, it's just like endless fun, endless chaos, but like it's the hustle. Yes. Like it's a definitely a different vibe than like anywhere else, I feel.
Yes. And I like, because I've even told bands like how eventually I'm going to do like a Mosh Pit Podcast tour. Either I'm just doing my own or just going on a tour with bands, interviewing openers in each city, and like just doing that. And like, because I always like, people go, you'll interview like a band with 150,000 followers, and then next week I'll have a band with like 1,000.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I am here to promote big bands, but I'm also here to give the guys with the little voices a voice and a place to say their piece and how they stuff and promote and do anything.
Yeah.
Now you have bands go, how much do you charge to like push on my content? And I go, I don't charge for that.
Yeah.
I'm just posting this.
Yeah.
Like
it's just you being you.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Again, it's like that effortless, thing because you're passionate about it.
Yes. Like I remember it was last year was the first time I ever got paid for an event. and like it was like a little festival in Lodi, California, and they got me a trailer to record. I got free entry, free food, free drinks.
Nice.
Did some emceeing while I was there, and I was just like, and then the night I got like $150.
Hey,
and
win.
I just remember holding that money, and I was just like, you got paid to just have fun. And that's the weird part.
Yeah. I feel like, again, when you're doing what you love, like, it may take a while, but like it all does come through at the end of the day.
Yes.
You know?
Because like and they've heard it too, like my show that I always say that I would love to relive was February 2022. I came to LA. It was my first time in LA. I came here originally just to go see Korn and System of a Down at the soccer arena.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, but it was like a week before, Korn decided to do an album release party at a Methodist church downtown LA. And they were selling very few tickets at Amoeba. And I couldn't get down here in time to come to that. And then my mom goes, just text their manager. I know you have their contact. And I was like, he barely even knows me. He's not going to give me a ticket or let me pay for one. And I text him. He goes, what's your full name? And I was like, blah, blah, blah. He goes, you're on the guest list.
Oh my God, dude. Sick.
And I was like 18. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's a moment.
Yes, because I remember going in there and like the whole aisle was like actual lit candles. The whole stage was candles. They had a coffin where people can bring stuff and put it in there.
Beautiful.
They had an orchestra playing, an organ, and then they like started off with like 3 OG songs, an acoustic, and then played out their whole new album. And then I was just sitting there the whole time, just going like this the whole time, just looking at the production of everything and how everything was, and just like living in that moment. And then afterwards, I went into the back with everybody, and I was so caught up in the moment, I didn't realize who was there.
Yeah. And
I was just like all of Korn's there, of course, but their families were there. I got to sit down and talk with Jania, Head's daughter.
Yeah.
And talk to her for a while.
Oh, how
and
cool.
Like, I was just in this surreal moment, and like Chris Garza was there, Shavo was there.
Yeah.
It was just so many people. And then like they gave me like a vinyl record of the new album release. And then right before I left, I remember I went on stage and I just grabbed, because they had like thousands of candles. I just went and grabbed one candle. I was like, this is mine now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's, you got to take something from that time. That's special.
Yeah.
Like,
because I had that, and then like Head gave me a guitar pick, and I was just like,
amazing. I love it.
I just remember, because it was like nighttime downtown LA, and
Yeah.
I just remember all the fans were outside trying to see if they could meet them after, and I was just walking out with hella shit, running to my car.
You're like, nobody take my candle, it's mine.
Yeah.
Like,
it was exactly like that. I was just like, I just remember then seeing them the next day. I was just like, and then the day after going to the Whiskey A Go-Go, it was just a moment that I'll never forget.
Yeah, and then again, that's what it's about. It's about those moments.
Yes.
They stay with you forever. Forever.
Because like doing this, I just like, other than podcasting and stuff and going to shows, I always do stuff that like, and I always get myself in crazy situations, and that's what like the stuff I like to talk about. And everything.
Yeah.
Like there's stories about like people I've dated, and like a few people have like heard the stories about like when I used to date like a stripper, and like the crazy shit that went on with all that stuff. And,
that's a whole nother podcast we'll have to do.
Yeah, it is crazy, because I remember it was last week I was telling somebody, I was like, yeah, I do photography every once in a while for strippers. I'm like, how the fuck do you get into that?
Nice. I have a friend that does that.
And they're like, how do you do that? How do you get into that? And I'm like, it's when I started dating them and I like started taking photos and started getting better at photography and stuff like that, then I had people hit me up, hey, can you come here? Or I'll have you do some photos of us on the pole and everything.
Yeah.
Or like I'll go and just like do like headshots for them.
Well, again, like that's just like, it's another art form.
Yes.
It's a different bracket,
Yes.
you know, but It is an art form.
And it's not something I do all the time. It's something I do very rarely with like only like a certain amount of people that know that I do that.
Yeah.
And like people always go, "How do I get into that?" And I'm like, you
God.
gotta know people.
And you also can't be like, gross. You have to be like very respectful. To be in that industry, like behind the scenes, you have to be very respectful. Because you will get kicked out of that very fast.
Yes. How many like the conversations you have to have before you have your photo shoot.
Oh yeah.
And you just gotta just be like
a lot of consent and like what you can photograph, what you can't, and there's a lot of that in that industry.
How do you want to look? What do you want shown? How do you want it shown?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then you have people go, "Oh, can you send me some of your work?" It's like,
yeah, no, nope, disclosed.
Yeah,
disclosed.
Yeah, it's not how that works. There's a lot of stories I've had. I mean, I've had run-ins with the cops before. I've had Halloween run-ins with the cops. They thought I stole. Me and my buddy stole a American flag out of a park, and I was like, "Look, the flag is still there. We didn't even. How the hell we climb up it?" They had 2 sheriffs come up, 3 highway patrols, and like even 2 bike cops, and like it was like a total of 8 cops there.
Wow, just for a flag that was still there.
Yes. Yeah, I've had. Yeah, this is so much fun, and I was just like, but yeah, I've had a lot of stories that. That's all I'm about is like the story, and I just love like leaving those scary moments or those fun moments or those interesting moments and just going.
Those moments. They're moments.
In this moment.
Yeah, literally.
Getting into accomplishments, what do you think your biggest accomplishment was of 2024, and what do you look forward to in 2025?
I feel like this whole year as a whole was very, again, like life-changing. Something flipped like after March this year where I just really locked in and kind of just did what I knew I needed to do. Like I had a lot of goals this year, releasing new music video, playing shows, working on new music. I just feel like this whole year in general for me musically was an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And as far as next year, just again, keep putting out new music, create new stories visually, music videos. I think my biggest goal of 2025 you're going to have to cut this part because I just had a brain fart.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'll do this again. My biggest goal of 2025 is to be on some kind of like rock festival.
Yes.
Whether it's Mayhem or Aftershock or like one of those bands that's like, hey, we have a last minute slot. Like, and it's me. Like, and I really want to start touring. I get a lot of comments and a lot of DMs about like, hey, when are you coming to New York or Germany or, North Carolina? And I'm just like, I don't know, but hopefully soon. Like,
are you signed yet?
I am not signed. I am independent still.
If you ever are trying to set up a tour and trying to have to NorCal, I know a lot of bookers up there.
Okay.
If you ever need. And I have like...
Do you have bookers around this area? This is probably not going to get cut, but...
This area, I know... Kind of know somebody at Whiskey. We're kind of new friends a little bit.
I'm over Whiskey. I won't do it again. Don't put that in here.
House of Blues.
Okay. I know somebody that does booking there. Eric with Break Bad Management or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like to tour eventually would be like the goal. So that's 2025 goal is to drop as much new music as I can, new visuals, and just to be on bigger bills. Like I want to open up for bigger bands now,
It is, and I know you watch sometimes Danny Wimmer.
Yep.
Like,
oh, hi.
Danny Wimmer.
Hi.
Like, she's right
I'm
here.
Lexi Layne.
She wants to work. She would love to work Aftershock.
Put me on one of your festivals, please.
Yes.
I can hold my own, I promise.
And, like, it's just because I remember when I started and I was talking to, like, this one, who the hell was I talking to? we're sitting down eating before the show, and they're like, in this music industry, everybody's climbing a ladder. You just have to hold on to everybody beneath you and bring them up with.
Again, a great fucking analogy. It's so true. And it's like, I don't want to crawl on top of anyone. I want somebody to be like, hey, give me your hand. I'm going to help you up. And like, same for me. Like, hey, just give me your hand. I'm going to help you up. Because like, a lot of people are higher than me, but I'm higher than a lot of people too. Or so, you know, like it is a ladder. It's like these levels, you know, but this is all part of the game. Is it's like, it's quality, not quantity either, I think. I think it's very important to have a very stable team, people that want to invest in you, that believe in you, that are as passionate about your craft as you are.
Yes.
And the one thing I can say is over the past 3 years, I have created that. And I have that now. I have that solid foundation of amazing people in my corner. I just need to tour now and get on a festival and maybe be signed. That'd be cool. Would love that.
Yes. And I know it's a lot of, I remember, because like my first year of podcasting, it was like I never had anything scheduled. It wasn't like, oh, every Monday, blah, 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 blah. And I remember December of last year, I was sitting with these bands. It was like New Year's Eve. I was sitting down backstage, and they're like, so it's probably 2024. What's your plans? I was like, my plans are to post every Monday of 2024 and partner with Aftershock. And they're like, those are some big goals, dude. January, filmed 8 podcasts in January.
Damn.
That's when I came to LA. Did like 3 or 4 down here. Did 3 or 4, like 4 up in NorCal. Had everything ready. It was a month ahead. And then started going, go. And then in February, I did a post reaching out to Danny Wimmer. I said, anybody that wants me to do anything with Aftershock, just comment tagging Aftershock and Danny Wimmer Presents.
Yeah.
That was it. Hour after I posted that, Danny Wimmer DM'd me and goes, here's the contact media information.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Wait, so it happened?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
And I remember they were like, it was months of work. And I remember they're like, so how many tickets do you want to do for the giveaway? Because you have to do a giveaway thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, 4? Because I see people do 4 all the time.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, cool. And I'm like, shit, all right. And I ended up getting like more and stuff like that. I think I ended up getting like a total of 8 or 9.
Damn.
And like, it was just like, and then I remember I ran into those same bands that were doing a show together. It was like a month or 2 ago. Mm-hmm. And they were doing a show and I was working it. And they're like, we're all hanging out. And they're like, you know what's crazy? In December, you told us you were going to post every fucking week and you were going to partner with Aftershock. And you just
did it. See, it's manifestation and hard work. Like, it really is crazy what you can do in a year. I think that's always my favorite thing about starting a new year is it's like, okay, what are my new goals? What am I doing?
Yep.
What am I attacking this year? And like, it's cool because then the end of the year comes and you're like, I did that. Yes. I did all of that. And like, that's how I feel about 2024 is like, everything that I really wanted this year, maybe like 2 things I didn't hit, but I know next year I will. So it's okay.
I have a few extra goals for next year. I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
Some of them may be coming true. Oh, wow, yeah. And it's just insane. The opportunities I've been given is thanks to everybody that watches and like anybody that's been on that's helped me out through this stuff. And it's not even just bands that's helped me out, like photographers that helped me out and videographers helped me out.
It's a community.
Yeah.
It's a community of artists. And again, it just goes back to that saying with the ladder.
Yeah.
We're all climbing, artists, musicians, photographers, whatever it may be. We're all climbing this ladder.
Yes.
And if we can all just help each other, like everyone will win. I promise. No one needs to step on anybody,
Yes. And because I'm like, who was I sitting with? My family. I think it was my uncle. And he was like, you keep going. What it's like, how long do you think you're going to do this? And I was like, forever.
You can do this forever.
Yeah.
100%.
And I was like, think 10 years from now, I'm still doing it. And just knowing how much, like, the fact I've done this for 2 years and how far I've gotten, the fact that now I know how to do a lot more.
Yeah.
And how to contact people now, and like, which I even what's crazy is I've had people that want to do what I do have reached out to me wondering how you do it.
See, that it goes back to what I was saying too. It's like you could be higher than somebody like in your industry right now. Not that he's better than anybody. I don't mean it like that. No one's better than anybody. I mean it like just, where you are right now, the bracket or whatever. And like people are reaching out to you like, hey, how can you help me?
Yeah.
Like that's so cool because that means that you've gotten further than where you started.
Yes.
Like that's validation,
I remember when one guy, it was at Signal World this year, he goes, I want to do what you do. I've been trying. He's like, it's impossible to do it by yourself though. And I was like,
nothing's impossible.
I was like, it isn't. You gotta chase it and you don't stop. If it fails once, you just gotta know, okay, how did it fail? Now you change it. It's
true.
I was like, I did this. Like, there's no one behind the camera right now. There's no one listening on the microphone. Nothing. This is just me and her in this room talking, and that's how it always is. Like, there's times where I've had people sit behind the camera, like podcast that you guys saw last month with Blackout. It was like that was like those rare moments where I've had all the bands. I closed the door to the green room, or the big green room. And all the bands sat down on the couches, and all their like girlfriends, friends were all behind the camera, just watching the whole time.
Yeah.
And afterwards, everybody started clapping. Woo! And it's like, you can do things by yourself. You just have to know how to do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna fuck up.
But that's how you learn. And again, it's like if you're that passionate about it and you love it that much, you will never stop.
Yeah.
And like I feel like both of us are really good, examples of that.
Yes.
Just don't stop. Just keep going.
Yeah. And I've had photographers go, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I go, you just, whenever you work a show, you see a photographer you don't know, don't just go, hi. You just go up and talk to them.
Yeah.
You want to do photography? You gotta realize that connecting with more and more people that do the same thing you do, it works miraculously. Like, I remember when I had to do an application for Aftershock and I didn't know shit about business. And I hit up Holly from Teaser Talk. And she's from, I think she's on East Coast, I think. On Florida, maybe. I'm not for sure. But I hit her up because she's done Dating Member Presents Media before. And I was like, how do you do it? She wrote it for me and like gave me the full format and everything.
See, like that's just helping each other.
Yes.
It's just a win-win.
And it's like, and like doing stuff and like, it's just find where you fit.
Yeah.
I've found where I fit, and I only like doing this is like, I've had bad times. I've had good times. I mean, I've filmed in alleys.
That's kind of cool though,
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah.
I filmed in so many situations. I filmed when it's hot as fuck. I filmed when it's cold as fuck. I've filmed in dangerous places. I've had legit filmed in bars where like there was a drunk guy like legit mean mugging us the whole time.
Oh God.
And you're gonna, even when you do think, oh, I got the whole form, you're still gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I do want to thank you again for coming on the podcast and doing all this stuff. I want to give you the time to promote anything you have upcoming, if you have any shows, music.
Yes, I do. Well, first off, I want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for coming to LA and sitting with me today. This has been amazing and just really cool chatting with you. I do have a show coming up November 9th. I don't know if this will be out yet.
November 9th, I will be promoting it. It won't be out yet, but I will be pushing it.
Okay. I do have a show November 9th at the Observatory with Aurora Wave. They're a really cool like metal reggae band. So I have that on the 9th. And then just look out for new music in 2025 and, new shows, and just follow me on Instagram, Lexi_Layne. That is the best way to see what I am doing and what's going on in my life. That's really it.
Weren't you in like the studio yesterday?
Yeah, the day before yesterday. Yes. Yeah, just actually finished the next single that I I won't say too much, but it is my first collab. And I think people are going to shit their pants when they hear who it is with. And it was supposed to come out in October, but we're gonna hold it until January. So it's just gonna be a little bit bigger than what we thought now. So it's good, just kind of give it a little bit more time. But yeah, I'm just excited for 2025 to see what happens, new opportunities, new people, and book some more shows and release some new music.
I'm excited to see what you do.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you up in NorCal. And I guarantee I've showed you to a bunch of NorCal bands, and they're just like blown away.
That makes me happy. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, no, I always show bands that I've met from everywhere to other bands, and they just go, holy shit.
So cool. It's cool. It's very cool to hear that. So thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
And also thank you to, what's this place called?
Pop Studios in Northridge, California.
Pop Studios. Yeah. If you are doing podcasting or rehearse or anything like that, come here. I'll also put the link down below, and all of her links will be down below. Go follow, go listen, everything. Even if you listen to it once, repeat that shit. Because I guarantee if you hear it again, it'll be as good as the first time. But we'll catch you next week, Mosh Pit. Later.